Composed upon Westminster Bridge is a sonnet by William Wordsworth. He was one of the pioneers of romantic poetry in England, and in this very short form, the poet tries to reflect the beauty of London city and the romantic as well as delightful feeling that arises in him about the surrounding, especially of London city. Wordsworth wrote in explanation of the poem that it was written on the roof of a coach on September 3, 1802. As he was on his way from London to Dover, before crossing to France, his sister Dorothy, who accompanied him, writes, left London between 5 and 6 o'clock in the morning. A beautiful morning. The city, St. Paul's, the river, multitude of boats made a beautiful sight as we crossed Westminster Bridge. The houses not overhung by their clouds of smoke and were spread out endlessly. Yet the sun shone brightly with such a pure light that there was something like the purity of one's nature. On grand spectacles, Westminster Bridge crosses the Thames near the abbey of the same name and leads to the coach road to Dover. Welcome to my YouTube channel Bachelor and Master English. As you have already heard, we have been talking about Composed Upon Westminster Bridge by William Wordsworth. In our today's discussion, we have that origin of the poem that I already mentioned, and there will be summary of the poem first. The poem begins with a majestic beauty and scene of London city and the River Thames. The speaker, being a silent observer, said that there is nothing more blissful than this enchanting sight. Even a dull or lazy person is impressed while passing through the beauty. To him, this beautiful morning appears like a blanket which hides its noisy people and no longer conceals its beauty with smoke, and now reveals its beauty of ships, towers, domes, theatres, and temples unspoiled. There is nothing now to hide the beauty of pollution-free environment and the wide fields lying to the south of nature. In the south of us, in all their glittering brilliance in the smokeless air. The sun has never sparkled more beautifully on any part of nature, be it rocks, valleys, or hills in the country Sims he had visited in the past. The poet shows his rising excitement over the stillness of the city in the last few lines. It's no wonder Wordsworth is surprised at the calmness of this major commercial city and the center of British Empire. His feelings are like those of Thames River below him, as it is at this hour flows tranquilly along, undisturbed by the activities of ships and sailors. In a burst of emotion, he pictures the city as blissfully asleep before another busy day. The poem unfolds man's connection with the nature in this short poetic piece. What he must marvel at is that this sort of serenity can exist in an urban area, not just in nature. Thus, the poet describes the beauty of nature in an attractive way. He tries to establish the relationship between human soul and nature. That is what he mentions in one of the poems, My Heart Lifts Up. There is natural piety. Okay, that's all with the summary of the poem in English. Now let's go with the discussion of the poem in Nepali. वेस्टमिन्स्टर पुल माथिको सिर्जना। सेप्टेम्बर 3, 1802 लाई वेस्टमिन्स्टर पुल माथिको सिर्जना शीर्षकको कविता विलियम वर्ड्सवर्थको एउटा 14 हरफे चर्चित कविता हो। यो इटालियन मोडलको अथवा पेट्रार्कन कवि पेट्रार्कको मोडलको 14 हरफे कवितामा रचिएको छ। अब यसमा यो 14 हरफको जुन 8 हरफ र 6 हरफको चाहिँ दुईटा भाग छ। पहिलो 8 हरफ र पछिल्लो 6 हरफमा उनले कविता पहिला लन्डन सिटीको एका बिहानै भर्खर घाम झुल्कँदाखेरि देखिएको पुल, लन्डन पुलबाट अथवा वेस्टमिन्स्टर पुलबाट लन्डन सहरको जुन दृश्य, एकदम मनोरम दृश्य जुन देखिएको छ, त्यो दृश्यको व्याख्या गरेका छन् भने अर्को हरफमा उनले चाहिँ अब त्यस्तो सुन्दरता संसारमा कहाँ देख्ने, यस्तो सुन्दरता र अनि त्यसपछि मानवीय आत्मालाई चाहिँ सँगसँगै जोड्न पाए कस्तो हुन्थ्यो भन्ने खालको भावना व्यक्त गरेका छन्। बिहान सबेरै लन्डन पुल हुँदै बहने टेम्स नदीको पुलबाट हेर्दा देखिने लन्डनको मनोरम दृश्यलाई यस कवितामा वर्णन गरेका छन्। उनले भनेका छन् यो लन्डनको एउटा पुलमाथिको जो वातावरण छ बिहानी पख मनोरम सूर्यको प्रकाशसँग प्रकट त्यो सुन्दरतालाई चर्चा शब्दमा गरिसाध्यै छैन। उनले विश्वमा धेरै सुन्दर ठाउँहरू छन् भन्ने कुरालाई चाहिँ स्वीकार गर्छन्, तर अन्य सुन्दर ठाउँहरू त्यो सुन्दर ठाउँभन्दा माथि जानै सक्दैनन्। यति चाहिँ सुन्दर ठाउँ संसारमा कहीँ पनि छैन जति लन्डनको पुलबाट देखिने लन्डनको दृश्य छ, लन्डन सहरको दृश्य। त्यो जस्तो अतुलनीय दृश्य अथवा अतुलनीय ठाउँहरू, त्यति मनोरम र मनमोहक ठाउँहरू कहीँ पनि छैनन् भनेर कविले घोषणा पनि गरेका छन्। अनि त्यो मात्र होइन, यदि पागल वा अल्छिने व्यक्ति त्यो ठाउँ भएर पार गर्दै हिँडेको भए उसको ध्यान पनि त्यो मनोरम दृश्यप्रति लोभिने कुरामा उनी विश्वस्त छन्। भनेपछि उनले यहाँ अर्को अतिशयोक्ति गरे। अब पागलले अथवा कुनै अल्छी व्यक्तिले कुनै प्रकृतिको सुन्दरताको चाहिँ एउटा स्वाद लिन्छ, तर उनले चाहिँ त्यो सुन्दर, यति सुन्दरता छ कि त्यो लन्डनको सुन्दरता, त्यो सुन्दरताले त्यस्ता मान्छेको, पागल या चाहिँ अल्छी मान्छेको पनि ध्यान आकर्षण गरेर आफ्नो सुन्दरतामा उनीहरूलाई लट्ठ्याउन सक्ने क्षमता छ भनेर भन्छन्। त्यो सुन्दर सहरमा सूर्यको त्यो मिठो प्रकाशरूपी कपडा ओढिरहेको जस्तै उनले अनुभूति गरेका छन्। पानीजहाज, टावर, हावाको झोकाले केही मनोरम दृश्यमा थप उमङ्ग थपेको छ। यति मनोरम छ। वातावरणको कुरा गर्नु पर्दा त त्यहाँ धुलो मैलो केही छैन, यति सुन्दर छ। आहा, पुरै आकाश, निलो आकाश देखिएको छ। सब चाहिँ लन्डनमा के हुने, त्यहाँका चाहिँ नाचघरहरू, त्यहाँका भवनहरू, त्यहाँका चर्चहरू, सब चिजहरू चाहिँ कुन ठाउँ, कुन चाहिँ चिन्न मन लाग्छ उनले राम्रोसँग कुन ठम्ब्याउन सकिन्छ, सजिलै ठम्ब्याउन सकिने कुरा चाहिँ उनले व्यक्त गरेका छन्। अब वातावरणको कुरा गर्दाखेरि त्यति प्रदूषण रहित वातावरणले लन्डनलाई कति सुन्दर देखाएको होला। अनि फेरि त्यो आफू जुन पुल माथि बसेर चाहिँ त्यो पुलबाट चाहिँ लन्डनको दृश्य हेरेका छन्। त्यो पुल मुनि छङ 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 बहने थेम्स नदीको छङछङ आवाज र मानिसहरू त्यस समयसम्म अझै नबिउजिएकाले होला त्यो दृश्य स्वर्गको कुनै ठाउँ जस्तो हो कि भन्ने कविले अनुभूति गरेका छन्। यसरी प्राकृतिक कुराहरूको स्वाद लिने कविले यस कवितामा मानवीय आत्मा र प्रकृतिको अन्तर सम्बन्धको बारेमा पनि चर्चा गरेका छन्। अनि अब लन्डनको पुलबाट देखिने लन्डनको दृश्य, यस्तो मनोरम दृश्य कहाँ देख्न सकिन्छ भनेर कविले चाहिँ त्यो एउटा यो कवितामा त्यसरी चाहिँ एउटा 14वटा चाहिँ हरफको चाहिँ एउटा संरचनामा कति कुराहरू चाहिँ व्याख्या गर्न भ्याएका छन् कि यो चाहिँ एउटा कविको अद्भुत क्षमता हो। यसलाई लन्डन पुलमाथिको सिर्जना अथवा वेस्टमिन्स्टर पुलमाथिको सिर्जना अत्यन्त सुन्दर सिर्जना हो भन्ने कुरा उनले प्रश्न पारेका छन्। ओके, द्याट्स अल विथ द डिस्कसन अफ composed upon Westminster Bridge in Nepali. Now let's go with the critical analysis. William Wordsworth, one of the pioneers of romantic poetry in England, wrote Composed Upon Westminster Bridge. It is a superb composition about natural beauty in a Petrarchan model of sonnet. In this poem, the speaker observes the view of London from the Westminster Bridge, that is London Bridge which we call. Well, Wordsworth often writes about nature. In this poem, the speaker appreciates the beauty of the city, which looks serene early in the morning, especially since he is seeing the city removed from the usual noisiness and activity or hustle and bustle of this town. The poem speaks about the speaker's beautiful encounter with nature in a fine morning. It also illustrates how it puts a sweet pause in our busy lives and provides us with a chance to breathe in harmony. The poem tells about nature and its pivotal role in human life. The major themes of the poem are man versus nature and amazement. The speaker is a lover of nature. While he stops to adore the glories of nature, he feels sorry for those who have missed this delight. He catches these wonders early in the morning when the world is at rest and there is no noise around. Moreover, the unspoiled environment allows him to get a clear glimpse of theatres, temples, ships, domes, and natural objects. While venturing out to take in that special atmosphere, he says that he has never left so much calm in his life before. The city in its early morning slumbers closely resembles the countryside so memorably evoked by William Wordsworth elsewhere, because most of the poems are concerned with Lake District and the surroundings over there. Countryside memorably evoked by Wordsworth elsewhere, stating precisely the theme of composed upon Westminster Bridge is that a city before it awakens can offer the same calm and serenity as a wholly natural scene. Okay, now here is the structure of the poem. The poem is a Petrarchan sonnet. The structure in this Italian sonnet is arranged an octave 8-line section and sestet 6-line section. There is a volta between octave and sestet, but it is not properly seen. Although, unlike some Petrarchan sonnets, Wordsworth does have a blank line dividing the 8th and 9th line rhyming A B B A B B A and C D C D C D. Punctuation is freely and suitably used. Description of the scene from the London Bridge across the Thames River is seen in the octave, whereas its application to the poet mind is seen in the sestet. First 8 lines praise the beauty of London in the early morning light as the poet stands on Westminster Bridge admiring the surrounding buildings. Okay, now let's go with the style of the poem. This descriptive and meditative sonnet expressing deep emotion is simple, mostly monosyllabic in diction, and only slightly adorned with poetic devices. So this is the style of the poem. Now we have come to the end of today's discussion, and that is discussion of composed upon Westminster Bridge. And here, like in other poems, the poet's love of nature with natural elements like lake, river, rainbow, sun, moon, the river, pollution-free environment, pure and the majestic scene, the beauty of the sunshine and the beauty of sunset. All these things that what William Wordsworth focuses mostly in his poetry, especially rustic life, the commoners, and the way of thinking. All these things are there in Wordsworth, and he is especially impressed by his ships, towers, domes, temples, and all these things. How he has been impressed by these beautiful things, what he likes, what he loves to see, and what he has seen. All these things he tries to capture in the words. There is imagery. He uses such imageries, and the word picture describes the beauty of nature. And here in this case, the beauty of London city, the center of the British Empire, seen from the London Bridge early in the morning. There is no beautiful place in the world like London that is seen from Westminster Bridge early in the morning in this just sunshine, and that in pollution free environment. Yeah, there is no other place. And even the mad lazy person passes through London, and he will be enraptured by the beauty of London. So this is another hyperbole that the poet has used. But whatever the poetic devices he uses here in the poem, all these are concerned with describing the beauty of London, the majestic beauty of London, and its impression in him. Okay, that's all with today's discussion. I'm sure you got the points. If you have any queries, please put your ideas in my comment box. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I should like to request you once again, if you have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe my channel. Have a nice time.